Join us from the west coast of Scotland. You're watching a Facebook Live and we are reporting on Storm Barbara. It's not too bad here at the moment, but earlier on there was torrential rains, horrendous winds, and there have been gusts of 120 miles an hour recorded in parts of Scotland today. And of course Scotland will bear the main brunt of this force. Now, it's caused a lot of disturbance across the country. You can see the ferry behind me there. That hasn't left today. In fact, all ferries to the islands have been cancelled. A number of trains have been cancelled. And there's also been a power cut, in fact, in Lewis. And we understand Scottish and Southern electricity companies have got lots and lots more people, in fact, hundreds on standby in case there are more power cuts. And I'm also hearing that more than 100 schools have been closed. Now, like I say, earlier on, there was torrential rain. In fact, I'm still completely drenched from that rain. Got my wellies on here. I'm pleased to say there are a few people here that we can talk to who live in this area, so they're pretty used to this horrendous weather. First of all, Kevin, thank you for hanging around and having a chat to us. So just talk me through. It was pretty bad earlier on, wasn't it?
It was. It was really, can be dangerous, but you've got to stay in close to the building. The bins were all over the place and just generally
pretty
typical.
bad.
Pretty bad.
And Storm Barbara coming in, there have been warnings, especially for this area, northwest Scotland. When you live in a place like this, how do you prepare?
We're just natural. It's just, we're used to it around here. The winds and the ferries going off, you know, the trains, especially the trains down being electric lines. The lines tend to fluctuate a bit. That stops the trains running.
Great, and Stuart, you're here as well. You work in the local supermarket. God, we've got the hailstones coming now. You know, I guess it's been pretty quiet for you today, quiet morning.
It was quite quiet this morning. There was not a lot of folk come out due to the weather and the wind and the rain and stuff and whatever else, but it had died down. The shop did get busier, but it started to pick up again, so maybe we'll end up being quiet towards the end of the night.
And lots of customers moaning about the weather?
There's a few been moaning about the ferries being off and public transport being delayed due to weather and stuff like that, but it happens. People prepare for this kind of thing because it happens. They live here, so they're used to it.
Yeah, how do you prepare? I mean, I guess it's just run of the mill.
If you'd been towards Morrison's earlier, due to just Christmas time, there's a lot of people up that end of the neck of the woods of the town preparing for a long Christmas, whether it's going to be the storm or whether it's just the Christmas fever. But there's a lot of folk out there getting shopping and all that other stuff. So I suppose that's how certain people prepare. But here it's just a normal kind of thing. Like older people kind of feel it more than the younger do. So I suppose it's kind of bad for them. They'll get trapped and stuff in their house and that. But it's folk come and visit them during the Christmas period and that. So hopefully it'll be alright.
And in relatively remote places like this, it must get frustrating when, you know, ferries are cancelled, trains aren't working.
Oh, I suppose it could be, yeah. If you live in Millport, I suppose it could be frustrating not getting home and stuff like that, but they make precautions for it. CalMac can occasionally make certain things and maybe supply them with, I don't know, a hotel or a bed for the night or something else. But yeah, again, that's up to them. I'm not sure if they actually do or not, but as far as I'm aware, they do.
Thanks very much for speaking to us, both of you. If you just head over this way, I mean, I think there's a pretty dark rain cloud looming. It's not too bad on that direction, but heading over this way, it's getting bad. I've got some questions coming on Facebook, and do keep them coming. David's saying it doesn't look that windy at the moment. Is it going to get worse? Well, David, if you'd seen me on Sky News about 12 o'clock, it was absolutely horrendous. I am told, we haven't seen the worst of it, it's going to get worse around 5 o'clock today, and it's going to last the entire evening into Christmas Eve. In fact, the Met Office telling me that there is a warning even for snow tomorrow. Let me take another look at some of these questions. Is there any flights from Glasgow coming in from Bada Osman? Yes, there are. In fact, I flew in from Southampton to Glasgow first thing this morning. It was a very, very bumpy flight. I've got to say the worst I've ever had. But yeah, they are still running. The flights are okay. But like I say, the trains, there have been lots of cancellations on trains in Scotland today. More questions coming. Whereabouts in the UK will be worse affected? From Julie Thurl. Julie, it will be Scotland. We're hearing that will bear the brunt of this storm. Like I say, in some areas of Scotland there have been gusts of up to 120 miles an hour, so some strong gusts. Also in some areas there have been 75-mile gusts. Here on the west coast, that is one of the worst areas affected, but of course in the Western Isles and the Northern Isles, those two awful and very windy. Gosh, I've got to pull my hat back because it's going over my eyes. Where do you get the names from for these storms? Well, they are created by the Met Office. I think in the past, actually, they've run competitions for people to name certain storms. We had Storm Angus, didn't we? But all of them get a name when they are due in. And of course, this storm, although I say it's going to hit Scotland, there will be other parts of the UK affected in Wales and northern parts of the UK. And indeed, councillors have said that they have got lots of people on standby ready to deal with any issues that may come in. Also electricity companies, if there are any power cuts. Tony asks, so no snow this Christmas? Well, actually, Tony, as I mentioned a little while ago, there could be some snow. In fact, there are forecasts in Scotland for snow above Glasgow tomorrow. So who knows if that will last until Christmas Day. We shall have to wait and see. If you are just joining us, this is a Facebook Live reporting on Storm Barbara. Why don't we head out here a bit closer to the water, because like I say, it's not too stormy at the moment, but things are set to get worse later on, and indeed earlier on today they were pretty horrendous. You can see the ferry that hasn't left today. We are expecting no sailings to the islands today. Lots of people leaving questions on Facebook. Please do keep them coming. I'll try and reply to as many of those as I can. You've probably seen some pictures come up on the screen of the awful conditions here earlier. The waves were really lapping over the sea wall, and of course it was very stormy. Someone asking, will there be much damage? Well, so far, no, we haven't seen much. But that's not to say there won't be any. In fact, power cables, there was a lot of talk of them causing damage to those. I'm having to hold my hat on now because things are getting stormy. But yeah, there hasn't been a great deal of damage thus far. However, there have been warnings that it could happen. Lots of questions coming in here. Please do keep them coming, and I will try and reply to all your comments. So after this storm has left, like I say, it's likely to last the whole of today here in Scotland and into tomorrow. It'll then head up to Norway, and we will see the effects of that obviously over the coming days. And we are told that there will be yet another storm on Christmas Day, so things likely to get worse, and then into Boxing Day, and of course also storms on Boxing Day, and the snow forecast too. People asking lots of questions here, which are the worst affected areas? Well, like I say, that is Scotland. We've got people up here, if you just have a wander with me, we've seen people walking their dogs out here today at the worst time, which was midday. There was absolutely nobody around. It was like a wasteland because no one wanted to venture out in the rain and the storms. But we'll just come and have another chat with you two, if that's okay. Yeah, talk me through, how are you preparing for the storms then?
I suppose getting food and stuff, like just normal day-to-day stuff. I wouldn't say you're really prepared for it because it's only really the front that's really broadcasted with the wind and stuff, and some of the streets and that are, but most of it's, you don't really, I wouldn't say you would need to really prepare, but a lot of folk do.
In Scotland you're used to it, aren't you? This is a regular occurrence.
A regular occurrence, so yeah.
And we've seen people out here today walking their dogs, you know, carrying on as usual, but does it worry you, this big storm?
It doesn't worry me at all. I've got a stray cat, but I've got that locked in, so it's okay. And hence I went into my mate's shop there and got the cat food in, so.
And ahead of Christmas as well, though. I mean, we could do with some snow. What are you thinking? They are saying it's forecast in Scotland tomorrow.
No, it shouldn't affect. People around here are used to it, you see, and we just get used to it and anchor down, and that's it.
There we go. I'll let you go home. I think that's the best place to be today. It's so cold out here. I have to say, if you don't have to leave the house today, I really would stay in your nice warm living room, put the fire on, have a few mince pies, because it's certainly absolutely freezing out here. Like I say, things are due to get worse later on. We shall wait and see. It certainly wasn't great earlier on. There are severe weather warnings in place from the Met Office. You have been watching a Facebook Live. Thank you very much for joining us. We will have more on Sky News throughout the day.